all the stress. And I think if you just got rid of all of your stress in the world, everything in your own personal world, you would just be living in basically a medicated state. You would have no desire, no drive, no reason to get up in the day.
I think that the only people that I know that have no stress are like retired, and other than health,
Yeah.
they're fine, but they've also
I
done.
do like I don't know if you're like in your 80s or whatever, you're retired, I think you're pretty stressed out the fact that life expectancy is like 85.
But take mortality out of the equation. Just the fact
Right.
that you've paid your dues, and I think that that's part of it. You got to pay your dues to have the stress go down.
That's fair. Yes. It
Like
also like I think the biggest metric for reducing your stress is have a shit ton of money.
it certainly helps.
I think it really does tend to help.
Well, they say money can't buy happiness. However, it certainly makes life a lot easier to,
Less
yeah, less shitty.
less crappy.
Oh, hey,
Like
Tash is in.
Tosh Point O. Remember that comedian?
Yep.
Yeah, and like remember one of the things he said was money doesn't buy happiness, but neither does poverty.
Poverty does not buy you happiness. No, it
Not
doesn't.
at all. Not at all.
And
I think that buys you a lot of worry, but that's my perspective on it.
well, I think that I think there has to be balance, right? Like there, you can have
Yeah.
a lot of money, Evan. You can have a lot of money and have stress. Or what is that sound?
What are you hearing?
It's like wind. It's like every
It's
time you
going through my ears, maybe or something. Let me try
maybe
switching this. See if that's any better. How's that?
that's better.
How's that? Yeah,
It's more gooder even.
it's more gooder.
It's more gooder.
I don't know. Like you've been poor, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm
Right?
the story of my life, man.
Does it suck?
It's here's the thing.
It's kind of hard.
It's there's two things. There's things that situationally can happen that can really dip into your funds. That can happen. You can
Yep.
have irresponsibility, which that's broke.
Yep.
Poor
Yep.
is different than broke. Broke
Yep.
is generally situational, and lots of times your own damn fault.
Yep. I agree
Like
completely.
yeah, yeah. Like
I
if
look at
you're go ahead.
I look at like I had a guy in once and we were talking and he goes, I'm so poor. I'm only po. I can't afford the OR,
Right.
right?
But
And
here's the thing.
I said, like being poor is your mindset. Poverty is where you are financially.
Right, but there's also this point that I think people have to realize is that I know people that have very little money that are
Yeah.
very happy. Because guess what? You have expectations that aren't there. Like you're not
Yeah.
keeping up with the Joneses, and nobody expects you to.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, depending on what kind of what is that noise?
I don't know. I don't hear anything.
Is it on your table?
I'm like my computer's on the bed.
I wonder if the mic is still on your computer.
Hold on. Let me check here.
That might be it.
Oh, it's on my phone.
There you
Why is it on my
go.
phone? There. How's that?
Oh,
So much better?
so much more gooder.
I don't know why it
You
went
see,
over my phone.
I don't know. You have too many gadgets. So what
What?
happens when you have too much money? It's just gadgets everywhere. There we go. Tash says it's better.
Too much money. That's a good problem to have, isn't
That's
it?
the problem. You know
But
what?
like
But I think
being like I remember being poor and like I got in this argument with a lady once, right? She was in to see me and she goes, like kind of like shame on you, white privilege, you have no idea what it's like, everything's being given to you and you've never had to work a day in your life.
wait a
And I was
minute.
like,
Did she call you white?
yeah, I know,
Jesus.
right? I know,
See, this
right?
is where people just don't know you.
Right? And I said, "Well, what are you talking about? Like, I was literally below poverty with a little boy here."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Nah, it's different."
Oh, sure it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, of course, it
Yeah.
is different, right?
Yeah. I- Everything is. Here's a problem too. People like to gaslight people. People like to. Nobody's problems are bigger than theirs.
Yeah,
I've got the biggest problem. I'm. It's like you don't get a medal for being for having the shittiest day.
right. Like you think your day's been bad, you need to check out mine,
Right.
right?
And I remember, and every time someone says, I forget. Remember Batman, the one with the penguin?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I forget what the guy says to him, but he goes, "It could be worse. I could have blood spewing from my face," and then he bites the guy's nose off.
Bites the guy in the yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, like, it could always be worse. It could always be worse. Like, I've had some bad days. I've had some really shitty days. I've had some
yeah,
stressful days, man. I've
yeah.
had stressful weeks. I've had stressful months and stressful years. If you
Years.
have no
Yeah, exactly.
stress, then you probably have no responsibilities either.
Well, exactly. That isn't that the truth. Like sometimes I wonder because like I've known people who were homeless who decided they were going to live on the road and hitchhike and everything, and people go like, "That's crazy. Why would you want to do that?" But then I look at the mortgage payments
Mhm.
and things like that, and it's like, yeah, there's something to be said about not having to worry about that sort of thing, right?
Could have a kidney stone. Yeah, apparently, I don't know if a
Yeah.
kidney stone hurts more when it's getting out or when it's just there. I've never had one.
Well,
Definitely
it's
not
worse if
good.
you're a guy.
Is it?
Oh, you got like 8 to 10 inches longer to go.
Okay, there, ping pong. Jesus Christ. Oh, Tash has had a lot of stress. Just deal with it. Been exercising a lot. And here's where generationally it's different, right? Like as Gen Xers, like we are, um, suck it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Move forward. If it's not going to affect me tomorrow or the next day, I really don't have to care.
There was a video and it was like and it's made in humor. So any ladies realize this is humor, okay? And it was talking about the difference of self-help books that guys and girls listen to when they're in the gym. And they got a
Okay.
girl working out and the voice in the microphone is like, "You're a beautiful soul. You can do this. You're perfect just the way you are." On and on.
Yeah.
And then the guy is like, "You're worthless.
You
Your
piece.
line ends with you. Get up. Don't stop now."
And that's what motivates guys. Like, I'd rather hear someone say, "You know what? You're a lazy sack of shit. Get off your
Yeah,
ass. Get doing it," than you're a strong, independent man.
strong, independent man. Yep. You've got this. You're a strong, independent man.
Empowered.
Yeah,
You're empowered. You're good enough.
yeah.
You can do anything anybody else can
And
do.
gosh darn it, people like you.
Gosh darn it, people like me. Yeah, I think that we deal with things in weird ways. There's some good ones. Like I put up a thing too. You put one on Facebook, and I put one on Facebook.
Yeah,
Ev said that her and her husband do like screaming therapy, where they'll drive out to the middle of nowhere and just scream.
that works.
It works. I mean, I have a pillow that I scream into or cry
Yeah.
in the shower. Whatever gets my day going.
What was that? There was that one movie where it's Billy Crystal. He's like an anger consultant, and the mob
Anger
hires him
management.
or something. Is that what?
It's
No,
anger
no, that's
management.
the.
With
Are you
Jack
sure?
Nicholson. Yeah, Jack
No, it
Nicholson
can't be.
was the client.
Was it? Okay. And
No,
he's like, it gives him a pillow. No, because you're thinking of Adam Sandler,
yes, no,
right?
no. It was analyze this.
Yes, yes. De Niro is what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
It
De
was
Niro.
De Niro, and they give him a pillow to scream, and he just unloads a clip on it. Just, I do feel better.
I'll tell you what. There's something about blasting off a firearm that is very relieving.
Very cathartic. Yeah, I would
But
agree with that.
everybody has something, and I think that we blame other people for our stresses. I You can't. Like, here's the thing: people can blame the government for this, and you know
Yeah,
what? If they can affect so much, you think they're really dealing with me? Do you think they're focusing on me and my issues? No.
yeah. I wish I would focus
That's
on my
right, Ronnie. It was
issues.
analyze this.
So this is what I really have noticed with a lot of people when the blame game starts and you're blaming somebody, your
Mhm.
spouse or friend or whatever. It's like, hold on here, this is you. This is your inadequacy around the same problem.
Right. What if the problem is, and hear me out. What if the problem is I'm the asshole?
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh no, you're beautiful.
I'm
You're
beautiful and
beautiful.
empowered.
Empowered,
I'm
strong, independent man.
independent, man. Yeah.
So
But I mean, what if the problem is that? Why don't we internalize the bullshit and fix it from inside out?
yeah.
Where do
Well,
we
I mean,
become the blame game?
that's the weird thing. So, have you ever read the book Untethered Soul?
Do I look like someone who read the book Untethered Soul?
I don't know. You'd be surprised how many people have read that book.
Is it
Okay.
fiction?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
then no, I still haven't read it.
No, it's actually fantastic. But one of the things they talk about is visualize that internal voice is like your roommate. Would you ever let somebody talk to you like that? Like, no.
We are guilty of beating ourselves up, and as guys, and this is where I think that the stress levels are handled differently between men and women. Ladies, chime in, please, because I don't know anything about women at all. We will beat ourselves up and have conversations with our steering wheel more
Yeah.
often than talking to another human being. Women seem to have a you're right, it was Robert De Niro. Women seem to have more of a emotional gang. There's someone they can call and say, Becky, I'm just really feeling stressed right now. And then they'll go for coffee or whatever and they'll talk about it. Where I think as us, it's a little different because in the chair, like all these years behind this chair, I've had people open up, man. There's been tears shed
Yeah.
in that chair. And for a guy to open up, it has to be with someone that is like Switzerland.
Yeah.
And not that I'm a therapist or a anything, but barbers and bartenders, I think, were two of those guys that guys that men would open up to and like dump their feelings,
Well, you're
which is good. Like,
outside of that group, right? So a lot of guys tend to have the fear that if they open up and tell somebody close to them these things, it will be used against them.
oh, the I told you
Right?
so's would come out later.
Yeah. So there's that fear. But I also saw a video today, and they were talking about how interesting it is because of for women to communicate face to face, but guys to communicate it tends to be more side by side.
You got a weird sound happening again there, dude.
That's the dog.
That's the dog?
Maybe.
Oh, there's better. It's scrubbing on your
Yeah.
facial hair.
Yeah, okay. So they're big thing. I gotta get a haircut or something.
All
They
right.
said that guys tend to communicate better side by side. So out hunting or out doing a sport, or in this case, it was video games. Because when my son was young, he would open up a lot easier if I was sitting with him playing video games. Could ask him everything, but how's your day? How's everything? And he would just tell everything, right? But you go to him face to face, it's confrontational, and it doesn't work.
I think with guys, we have to have something else that we're doing at the time to talk about something.
Yes, exactly.
So you can zone out and just still play Tetris or whatever you guys are playing, and you could be talking, but then focus on this and not ignore, but pretend that you didn't hear what he could
Yep.
pretend that he didn't hear what you just said. And oh yeah, you're right, Dad. And I think that guys have a really shitty way of dealing with stress, but lots of ours, it's alone. It's
Yep.
alone. Here's
Yep.
the thing, but here's the other thing. Nobody wants to hear our shit. Like nobody wants to hear a guy other than other guys. Like we're cool, like
Yes.
listening and being a shoulder to cry on. But when you hear a woman say, just be more, no, you don't want that. You don't. You really don't.
No.
You don't want to see your man weak
Yep.
and crumbling because that is the opposite of what you were attracted to when you met him.
Well, I mean, that's really what it comes down to, and that I think that's accurate. Like, that's what makes it very difficult, right? Because it's like when somebody says, what penny for your thoughts, or what are you thinking? It's like, well, they're really just looking for the good things, right?
They
They're not
are.
really looking for the bad.
They are. And there's this other I think that we have a little we have zen moments, guys.
Yep.
Like if someone asks me, "What are you thinking about?" and I say nothing,
Yep.
that is so true because
It's nothing.
we can
Yeah.
shut it off and we're thinking about nothing. Like what I love is kids and how they ask questions. They'll ask the weirdest questions at the weirdest times with the weirdest shit.
Yep.
And Bo asked a question that how a guy would like a guy would ask a stupid question. Not a stupid,
Yep.
but one of those like, why wouldn't I want to know that? She goes, Dad, where did the word fart come from? And that has bugged me I'm thinking, wow, I've thought of that and I never right. So of course we asked Alexa. And
Yep.
it's a 900-year-old word.
Yes. Yes.
It's
It
been
is.
around for a long time.
Is it based on fartlek? Is that what the word is?
Flatulence. It has something to do with flatulence. But here,
Okay.
But what I think is great is just as guy we'll find something interesting that's not really interesting, and suddenly
Yeah.
we're interested in that. We'll go
Yeah.
down the rabbit hole, and if we come up for air and we've learned something ridiculously stupid and useless,
Yeah.
that is if I'd say what a stress reliever for me would be, learning something so dumb that there's no reason for me to know it,
Yeah.
but now I know it.
And even better yet, having something that you know and you don't tell anybody until all of a sudden you need it,
It comes up in conversation.
right? Or a skill set or something like that. And it's like, hey, well, I know that. Actually, this is what's going on, right?
Yeah, and again, lots of people are impressed with, you can have a degree, but I'll tell you what, I bet you
Yeah.
most people I know that have a degree have no idea that the word fart is 900 years old, and I learned that yesterday.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Do you have a degree?
Do I have a degree? Come on.
Yeah.
No.
No.
No, I
It's
don't
not
have a degree.
barbering isn't a degree or anything like that, eh?
Technically, I guess I'd be considered a master barber, um,
Hmm.
but
So you
that
have a master's degree, is what you're saying.
I guess it's a degree and, 2 and a quarter will buy you a coffee
Yeah.
these days. Like, it's wonderful to have it. I'm sure that it opens doors, but I think we're
I
coming
guess. Yeah.
to a time when it's not what it once was, sadly. I think that it's
No.
great that people are educated, but
Yeah.
I also think that people really need to dig down and learn as much as they can about what they're about to do that is
I
beyond the classroom, right?
I agree with that, and I think the kind of one like, a big worry with a lot of the younger generation now is, like, they go to school, post-secondary, get their bachelor's degree, get another degree or whatever it is, and they're going, "Well, great, I've got 2 degrees," or whatever it might be, but no job and $70,000 in debt,
$70,000 on a if you got a deal, yeah. Yeah.
right? And it's like, "How am I gonna pay this back?" Well, I mean, Canadian Tire's hiring. It's like, "Well, what about my degree?"
What about your degree? And it's what's interesting is that even when in what I've done, like, okay, I'll take real estate as an example. Okay. You learn, you go through the courses, you do your relicensing every year. You do learn the legalities of it. You learn how to make sure nobody gets sued, nobody gets screwed.
Yeah.
Um, but I learned more. I learned more after that
Yeah,
than during it.
yeah,
And everything that I needed to know and that I still use was important. But the application,
yeah.
you learn that out there.
Well, it was Mark Twain that said, "You never let your schooling get in the way of your education."
Well, you're right. I mean, there are certain times when an education is important, and it is important, like stay in school, kids. But let's just say you didn't get the minimum. You didn't graduate high school. You need to get that done. And
Right.
I believe we have somebody in chat who did that later on in life. You get it done, and then suddenly doors start cracking open for you. It's if you didn't for whatever reason get it done when you should have gotten done, yeah, it's going to hold you back. So there's the minimum.
Surprisingly, you would think that it wouldn't matter as much, but now it seems to matter more than
Sometimes I wonder if
ever.
the stresses of corporate or the stresses of the world are because of outdated expectations.
That would be heavily. I mean, there's been a few people who have written kind of I guess, what would you call them? Like a thesis or write-ups about the
Sure.
educational system and the problems that it does tend to come, especially when it's from an industrial age perspective, where the whole point is to teach people how to be effective sitting in rows and doing small tasks over and over and over, and also to keep them out of the workforce so the parents could actually take those jobs instead of the kids. So it's an interesting thing.
I'm curious as to how, because we went through school, like elementary school, junior high, high school, how apparently kids are more stressed than ever.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Like, is it fear? Like, are kids more
I
scared? Are they more scared than we
hmm.
were?
I think they're more perceptive of what their parents are going through, for
Oh, there's
one,
a guarantee of that.
and I think they're using these things a lot more.
Yeah.
So they're getting all of the negative stuff. So I mean, we talk about the '90s being kind of like the perfect time because
Mhm.
there wasn't as many bad things that were happening. Um, Columbine,
Was that in the
1999.
'90s? That was
Yeah,
2000s.
no,
Was that in the
1999.
90s?
There was a lot of bad things. There's Desert Storm or Desert Shield, Desert Storm. There was Oklahoma. There were a lot of issues, but they weren't in our faces on a constant
No,
basis.
you'd have to go home and look at you'd have to go and watch the news and try and catch it,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
But I think that they of course, had to I think that we weren't as bombarded with the negativity of the world. We always knew that there was a lot of negative shit in the world.
Oh
One
yeah,
thing that the '90s gave us,
but it was
though,
way over there.
it was way over there, but one thing that the '90s gave us was a different type of rebellion because we started to see the system and
Yeah,
we started to rebel against that, and we didn't care. We
yeah,
were doing our own thing. We were young adults. We were getting on with life. We didn't have to give a shit, and we did well with that. Like, the kids that were graduating high school in the '90s, it didn't really matter, and you
yeah.
could get a job, and you could go on and do whatever you wanted to do, and whether your attitude was great or your attitude was shitty, as long as you were a good, responsible worker, you were fine.
That's fair. It's pretty accurate. I mean, you could find some work. I mean, we all know people who didn't graduate,
Sure.
okay, and they turned out pretty good,
They
right?
turned out fine, and I think that we, um we graduated, or some people didn't, but the stress level that's sitting there, I think the longer you go without moving forward, the more stress you're gonna be. Like, when I see a kid that's in their 20s still living in mom and dad's basement, but they never pushed them, like, there was no push through
Yeah,
high
yeah.
school to get on with life, they start
Hey,
feeling defeated.
we know people that are in their 40s or 50s who are still in the same situation. Just still holding out, right? Still waiting. The
Waiting for
opportunity is going to
what?
come.
Well, the opportunity is gonna come, but I think that we have a weird way of dealing with it. Like, I do think that the pacifier that we're all sucking on is the phone,
Yep, I agree.
okay? It's very unhealthy. It's nothing but bombardment of bullshit, and I think that the people that get out and whether they go to the gym or go for a walk or do whatever, like even Schwarzenegger's shitty book that we brought up a couple times, he talks
Yeah,
about just going for a walk, and go for
yep,
a walk and just have silence.
yep.
Don't take your phone with you, just go. The problem is right now, if you left your home without your phone, most people would lose their shit.
You start having a panic attack. So there's one song that I found, and I
Mhm.
can't remember what it's called. It's called 3 minutes or something. 3 minutes and 25 seconds or something like that. Okay,
Okay.
and you put it on. Okay, and you listen to it when you're walking outside. It's the most amazing thing ever. Okay, because there is no sound on the whole track. It's
That's a
complete
song?
silence. That's the song. So when they performed it live, people started walking out because they couldn't get it. They couldn't understand what it was. But the craziest thing is you put that on in your headphones when you're walking outside, you hear everything so much more clearly.
With
Okay.
your headphones on.
Yes, because you're focusing on trying to hear what isn't there. It is the craziest thing, man.
Okay, what if you just went without your headphones on and just listened?
No, no, because you're just part of the you're just it's just you're in nature. But this one, you're focusing on trying to hear things. So it
That sounds like
amplifies everything.
doesn't that sound like artificial silence?
It's really weird. It's really cool. And you put it on, you listen to it, you're like, wow, that was pretty relaxing and pretty cool what you could hear.
I think that when, like, we live in the Arctic, really, like, this is
It's
our
basically
spring is kinda
Siberia.
shit, right?
Yeah.
And I believe that winter is the worst time because you can't just get up and go for a walk. I know you can. I know you
You
can.
could.
Oh,
You
shit.
totally could. You
And
totally could.
relax, and relax. Dude, 40 below when your face hurts, it's not relaxing.
That's fair, but the number of times I've been out walking in the summer, I still don't run into a lot of people?
I'll tell you what, the walking paths are barren.
Yes. People
And
really don't go out.
what happened to us? I like, is our is the fact that we're sitting there, are we Are our stress levels self-induced because we just sit?
We overthink things so much, I think. So
We're in our own
look at it
heads.
this way. You take our generation, okay? And we like to post memes of, I knew when it was time to come inside because the street lights came
Yeah.
on, right? It's like, so kick your kids outside then. Well, I can't because there's a white van driving around. I think it's somebody going to try and kidnap my kids. It's like, okay, so what is it? What is it you want? Do you want your kids to go outside, or are you paralyzed in fear and refuse to let them go out?
Well, I think that there's a mix of a lot of things. Is the world worse than it was? I don't know.
I
It's
would
not
say
better.
whenever I talk to people and they say that the world's more screwed up than ever, I just go, well, there was this thing called the Crusades.
Yeah, it has been
Like
worse.
it's kind of bad, and like overall violence is down. Number of wars and things are down. Violent acts are down. Right?
Well, and when you have I remember like Gage said he wanted to go to the mall and hang out with his buddy. And there was a part of me that was hesitant. I'm like, the mall?
Yeah, yeah. Gotta get that bear spray going. I guess. Get some.
How often
Get a
does that
mask
happen?
for that.
So I said, you know
How
what?
often does it happen? Does it
Not
ever
often.
happen? Like
So
I can't think of any times in it really I've ever gone like, oh my god, is there going to be a bear spray attack?
I, there could be a lot of things could happen. But here's the thing.
I was on like I walk around in a lot of interesting places over like the last X number of years. Nothing bad's ever happened to me,
Dude, you and I walked downtown. We went for a beer to Section 6 and we went down to the Guinness Tavern, which was not
right?
pleasant. But
But it wasn't
there's
that bad though either.
it
Like there
wasn't
was
bad.
like there was people in there, and I was like, okay, like there's nothing going on
I
here.
wonder if we're living in a time of boogeymen, if as grown adults we have created the boogeyman and we're stressed because we're scared. Like
Yeah,
I told Gage, like go to the mall, hang
it's
out.
just a good reason to not do something, right?
It is. And like I said, he went to the mall with his buddies and I said, here's the thing, make sure you buy something for the food court. Don't
Yeah,
touch anything unless you're
yeah,
buying it
yeah,
and behave. That was it. He went, they were gone for a couple hours. They came back. Guess what?
yeah,
Everybody was fine.
yeah. A big part of it is nobody really cares about you.
When we were
Like
12,
nobody
we were hanging out
cares.
at the malls all the time. There's a big one, and I think that that's where some people believe that there's a spotlight on them.
Mhm.
Lots of people do. Like, what if someone sees this?
I mean, they
Nobody
call it the
cares.
spotlight effect, right? Like, oh my God, what if people are judging me? Guess what? They're not. They think you're judging them.
Yeah, and I mean, I go out rarely, and I remember going to a hockey game. Imagine that, because I don't know how many touchdowns they got, but people enjoyed it. Um,
So, like, what hole did they win at?
exactly. But I went there and thinking, okay, who am I going to know here? Of course, you
Yeah,
kind of know people. It's like, hey, how's it going? Hi, 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 and that's it.
yeah.
But no one was really noticing who you are, what you're doing. Oh my god,
Oh,
I did find a sport that I think is kind of cool. It's
oh, okay.
baseball. It's the
Yeah,
Savannah Bananas,
I've heard of that.
dude.
I've actually heard of that.
It's like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, how is this? How is it not more of a thing?
It's entertaining because here's the thing: people take sports far too seriously. These people are literally
Yes.
playing a game. I look at hockey or baseball or football the same way I look at checkers. You're playing a game.
Yep.
It's a game. Great.
Nobody gets riled up over checkers.
But I
Chess,
gotta get
even.
entertained. I need to be entertained by something. And the Savannah
Yep.
Bananas, man, that team's got it going on. Whatever
Yeah,
league
it's
that
pretty
is.
cool. Yep.
And you can watch like they have all their games streaming like on YouTube, and it's
That's
hilarious.
pretty cool. I
Mhm.
don't even know how I found that. It was like, what the heck is this? This is pretty cool. It's fun,
It
right?
is fun. And there's another thing that people stress out about. People stress out about their sports team.
Yeah.
Why?
Even better yet, you get like okay, so you get a lot of people really engaged in fantasy football, fantasy hockey.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
That's great. But isn't that just basically Dungeons and Dragons for jocks?
It 100% is. It
Right? Like
100%
that's
is.
what it is, right? Like there's no getting away from that. Sorry guys, but
No.
not trying to
But
be
again,
offensive, but
no, it's not offensive. Like if you're picking pretend people, you're picking people on a pretend team
yeah,
that
exactly.
doesn't
I'm
exist.
gonna create the perfect team and we're gonna win. It's like, well, it didn't work for Canada at the Olympics.
Well, I'll tell you what, like I
Uh,
said, if we would have just become a state, we would have won gold. It would have been ours.
that's fair.
It's fair.
That's fair. You know
No,
what?
I
I got to
think
give it to the Americans though. It took them a long time to get it again.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was a blowout. It was a really close game. Like
No,
it
it was
was
actually a really solid game. I was like, if you're gonna lose a game, that's how you lose it.
that's how you lose it.
Like that's great.
I
So
think that
there's a degree of stress that a friend of mine was telling me about. Okay,
Mhm.
and he says this is an incredibly stressful thing. He's an entrepreneur, and he goes, every night I go to bed and I wake up in the morning, and there's more money in my bank account than when I went to sleep. It's incredibly stressful. And he goes, I hope that someday you get to experience that stress too.
success is stressful, and being an entrepreneur is stressful. Being an employee is stressful, different kind of stress. Having a project
Yep,
that you're like this thing that it's like I'm still waiting
right
on a
there.
number
It's right there.
from the Canadian libraries.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this has been stressful only because it's the reworking and perfecting and perfecting and perfecting. And
Yep,
even my broker Bill stopped me and goes, Quitting. That's what you've got is exactly what it needs to be.
yep,
Perfection is the enemy of good.
yep,
Just
yep.
stop.
Like
You're
I
good.
said, nobody ever finishes writing a book. They give up on it.
Bro, 16 times, man. 16
Yeah.
times. But
So okay, you're not. Are you an entrepreneur?
Mhm.
Do real estate agents consider themselves entrepreneurs?
Yeah, we're all self-employed. We're
But does that mean you're? But self-employed does not mean entrepreneur.
okay, we're in charge of our business, which means we're in charge of our
Yep.
marketing, we're in charge of our budgeting, we're in charge of everything.
Right.
I would say that we're entrepreneurs. You're an entrepreneur, but you work under an umbrella of regulators, right?
Kind of. Yes.
Of course you do. You have somebody that you answer to, just like
Yeah. Sadly. Yeah.
we
But
have
how
we have the
many?
securities commission.
How many um, real estate agents are there in Brandon?
Oh God, 100 and it's probably 140, 160.
Oh, I thought
There's
there'd be
enough.
more than that.
There's a lot.
So,
I don't know the number, and I only pay attention to the one that's breathing my air.
yeah, that's fair. So, would all of them consider themselves entrepreneurs?
I don't know. I can't speak for them. It depends how you view your business, right? If
Yeah,
you see it as a job, then you're not treating it like that. If you're treating it like your business,
right.
then you are,
So,
right?
where is that? One second here. I'm going to pull this up here. And
And the thing
I
is,
looked at this. I looked at this a little while ago. Okay.
sure,
Uh, what was the definition of an entrepreneur?
that would be
Okay.
interesting. Sounds
Okay.
French.
Is it? Here it is. An entrepreneur is an individual who starts, organizes, and manages a new business or enterprise, assuming significant financial risk to turn ideas into profitable goods or services.
Yes,
Okay, so is that fair?
that'd be fair.
Right.
That'd
So
be
then
fair
you can
'cause
look at so, and that's a very true one. But the big thing that I always really jumped into significant amount of risk.
yep.
Okay. And the reason I say that is because we all know some people who are like, I'm going to be a boss babe and put entrepreneur in my profile, right?
What are you selling or what are you doing?
That's the thing, motivation. I'm going to inspire, right? So again, how many people in your industry consider themselves entrepreneurs as opposed to self-employed, right?
I'd say there's a few that really they hit it hard and they do a lot of heavy lifting and a lot of work. Like the ones you're seeing that are taking
Yep.
their business seriously
Yep.
because or another way to put it, who's doing it differently and successfully?
Yep.
If you're doing it differently than everybody else and you've paved your own road within the industry,
Yep.
there's your entrepreneur within the industry.
There we go. Like for example, in my industry, massage therapy, I would consider most of them not entrepreneurs, even though they are technically all private contractors. Okay.
Well, you have your own
Yep.
house that you work out of, right?
Correct. Most
So
of them do not do these things for self promotion, self advertising, or anything. And in fact, many of them are very adverse to doing a lot of these things.
okay, so there's the difference. So with you, the house brings in the client base,
Hmm.
right? Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
In a real estate office, no one's walking in the office saying, "I'm looking for a house." They're
Well,
dealing with whoever
people
is.
will, some people will always deal with the same agency, right?
Yep.
And some
Yep.
people, they don't care who the agent is. They just look at the name of the person who's brokering it on the house.
And I would argue that it's the other way around. People are dealing with the person, not the sign. Whatever sign, I'm fine.
Realistically, this should be. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It wouldn't matter what sign I was putting on a lawn. It doesn't matter. You're
Yeah.
dealing with me.
See, we have a lot of people like over the years, a lot of massage therapists. They feel the same way. Well, people are going to come see me regardless of where I am, and they find out that that's very not accurate, right?
Well,
Because when people leave, they tend to come back to the place that they're most comfortable
oh,
with,
you're absolutely
right?
right. But I mean,
So it's
you
interesting.
you you hold the keys, but you also hold 90% of the stress associated with
Correct.
that building,
Yes.
right? And I think that people need like there are people that
I highly think that 90% is a high enough number.
I think that if you split your 10% amongst the everybody that works there, they all have
I would say
their
you're
stress.
getting closer to 95 in many
Sure,
regards,
sure. But I mean,
So,
I think it's how you deal with it and how people deal with it and how are we worried about things that aren't real? Mostly. Mostly.
oh god, you know how many times I've actually been terrified to open my bank account?
You just don't want to look. Yeah. Yeah, I've been there.
Because it's like, "Oh god, I'm gonna open it up and there's gonna be, like, 0 money in
Or
there."
you think of the number, you're like,
Yeah,
and you look, I'm like, okay, I'm okay. I'm okay.
like, you wanna see some anxiety? It was like, like, I guess it'd be 2 years ago when it was like, I had to pay GST, then I had to pay, like, taxes, then PST, and then government called up and said, we want the $40,000 in SEBA back."
Yeah.
It was like, "Holy god," you start
Hey,
getting a twitch in the side of the face.
everybody has their different ones. Like you can go the entrepreneur part, you can go where you're, we worry about work, but let's look at life in general as far as stress. Kids are stressful because they're a natural worry. We should be concerned about
Of
them at all
course.
times.
Yeah,
Marriages. Marriages can be stressful.
absolutely.
Jobs can be stressful.
Yeah.
Health can be stressful. I mean,
You know
we don't know what people's situations are, and I think the worst part is we assume that everybody's pretty okay, and
yeah.
we have no idea what's going on in their heads.
And the reality is we're all just in a freaking hot mess here and holding on for the by the bare bit of our teeth, right? So that's it.
I think that we're essentially a bunch of talking monkeys spinning around on a giant rock,
Yeah.
and make the best of what you got. I do think that there's some really weird things that people do that they call this like the people that do that free climbing. They
Well, I
I find
think
that
that's
pretty relaxing.
maybe I don't find that relaxing. I find that terrifying.
But
Even just watching it gives me some anxiety.
right, but the people that do it,
Yeah.
to them, it's like people that run. God bless you if you run, but
Good
I
luck.
will puke
I don't
eventually.
even like driving that distance. I don't care what the distance is. I don't like driving it.
Right, like,
You
and
know?
there are also people that think that why do you go to the gym? Is it relaxing? Is it stress free? Yeah. That's the
Yep.
that time in the gym is the only time that I would say that I actually shut down and have
Yep.
0 stress. That's the only time you're in complete control of what you're doing. I think that's what
That's the
people
thing.
don't have
And
the
that's the biggest thing is people don't realize that for the most part, a lot of people experiencing a lot of stress. It's because they feel that they don't have control over a situation.
and they don't have an outlet.
Yeah. Even that an outlet isn't going to help a lot of people who feel they're completely out of control, right? If they have no control over their life, they can go for a walk. It's still not going to help because they still don't have the control. What they need to do is start realizing that, you know what, you don't get to control everything.
No, but there are certain things that I would say are naturally relaxing. Fishing is relaxing. Fishing is
Yep.
relaxing. You're doing nothing. You're there. You're just there
Ah,
waiting for something to
but I would say you have no, you have to relinquish control at that point in time too,
well, because you can't control the fish.
right?
And maybe that's how people have to look at life. You can't control the fish.
You
You
know,
can control
like,
you.
yeah, like I look at my youngest when she does her gymnastics competitions,
Yep.
and she says, like sometimes she'll be like, really nervous, right?
Yeah. That's
And we'll
normal.
be like, okay, are you nervous or excited? And she'll go, I'm excited because it's the same thing.
But
It's the
it's
same
okay to be
response,
but it's also okay to be nervous because fight or
of
flight
course.
is very healthy.
But are people who are dealing with being nervous? Is it you're actually nervous, or are you just excited about what's going to be coming up?
Mm,
I mean, really, the only difference is like if you knew it was going to be good, you'd be excited. If you knew it was going to be bad, you'd be nervous, right?
but fear in a competition is natural.
Yes.
So you should
I
be
mean,
worried about
it's
losing.
but the whole thing is it's one physiological response, right?
Right, but I
It's the
also
same response.
True, but I do believe, and I think your kids are competitive, and that's
Yeah.
good. But there's a lot of kids out there that like it was a real. I was watching this guy who was talking. He says, if you have kids that cry when they lose, good.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
raising kids that care. If you're
Yes.
raising kids that think that, you know what, it's just a game. You know what? I'm sorry, but the world is a lot more competitive than that,
Yeah. Just
and
wait. It's going to get a whole lot worse.
it's gonna get a whole lot worse. Like I,
Yeah.
I feel crushed when I lose for sure. That's normal. You don't
Right.
want to lose,
No.
but I don't want a participation trophy.
No. No. Exactly. Like that's the big thing. You want to go with there and do your very best, and sometimes your best isn't good enough. Just how it is.
No, and you know why your best isn't good enough? Because someone else trained harder.
Yeah.
Someone
Or just
else did
somebody is
better,
naturally a little better at it, or whatever it is, right?
or they worked
Like there's
harder.
there's or they worked harder, but there are always going to be those people that are just better than you.
Yeah, of course there is.
Like it's, I guess, as good as you want to be, somebody's always going to be a better person in some aspect than you are.
Well, I think that we put a lot of weight onto ourselves thinking that we should have been able to do that. If
Yeah,
you were prepared, you would have done it.
yeah.
And lots of our stress comes from the fact that we didn't do the shit we were supposed to do, and now it's catching up to us.
Well, as a lot of people like to think they behave better under pressure, right? No, you don't.
Mm.
If you spent a week to prepare, you'd be doing a lot better than doing it the last minute.
Yeah, but if you had a week to do it and it's really something that takes 2 hours, you're gonna do it on the
Yeah.
final day.
That's what people do. I mean, that's why I remember being in university and we'd like do all nighters. Why? You're not doing anything productive. You're just damaging what your potential test is going to be.
Well, and that's also when you look at people that cram for tests. Like, here's the
Yeah,
thing, the way I throughout my entire schooling, any schooling that I took, if I didn't learn it in class, I'm not gonna learn it
yeah,
overnight, and I would never cram. I couldn't
right.
cram for a test. I would skim, and that was it. Because if I didn't
Yeah,
understand it, I'm not gonna know it when I go to write that test.
that's it. So, like when I did massage therapy and even osteo, if I didn't learn it in class, okay, those are the things I'm going to focus on and just review before. Okay.
Mhm.
So if the test was like a week away, it's like, okay, I'm just going to review the things that I know didn't sit very well. Okay. Then I'd walk
Yeah.
into the test and people would be like, they're cramming, and I'd be drinking a coffee and they're like, aren't you going to review anything? I'm like, why?
Well,
At this point, it's too
you're
late.
also yeah, you could also just say, "I'm Chinese. I don't have to do this shit." This is a you thing, guys. I got this.
Well, I mean, people don't like hearing that though,
I knew this when
right?
I was 7. So, here's something that you could really relieve a lot of stress, and there's one here that I believe 100% is true. Saying no to people.
Oh, you know, I went through a very hard time of trying to say no. Okay. I mean, everyone does, right? Very difficult times. So
Alicia.
Alicia's popping in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was there. She knows.
Yeah.
And everyone, I had a hard time saying no to a lot of things too. So the way I started doing it to get better at it was I would say no to things I wanted to do. So you'd be like, call me up and be like, hey, you want to go for a coffee? Be like, no.
No.
Like, oh, okay. And then I would turn around and be like, do you want to go for coffee? And like, I just asked you. I'm like, I know, but I'm trying to get better at saying no. So I'm doing it with things that I really do want to actually do.
Right. I'm the king of just no, I just don't want to.
Yeah.
But I should probably do more stuff because I'm just a homebody.
It
Um,
just, that reminds me of this hour is 22 minutes,
yeah,
or whatever, right?
yeah.
Where they're in line for the coffee and they're like, it's like $8. And they're like, no, we don't have to get it because we want it. That's
No,
too many.
that's too many. Too many. $8 for a coffee. There better be half a bottle of Bailey's in
No,
there.
that's too many.
But we blindly say yes to shit that we shouldn't say yes to, and
Yeah,
that also makes the stress levels go up. So if you say yes to
yeah.
too many things, then you can't say yes to things you need to say yes to. So say no.
Exactly,
Say
exactly.
no. Like
Yeah, say no a
I don't
lot.
want to.
It's more fun that way anyways,
Exactly.
right?
Logging off. When's the
Yeah.
last time you powered your phone down? Don't lie to
Oh,
me.
I don't know. I can't even think about the last time I powered it down,
But
right?
when's the time you turn that sucker off
Like, I don't
during the
know.
daylight?
How do you turn it off? How do you turn it off?
I mine doesn't. It doesn't have that function.
It doesn't come with that button.
Doesn't come with that button. It's got too
It's
many other buttons.
always
Too many
on.
buttons.
Too many buttons.
But we don't do it. Okay, not absorbing other people's chaos. Man
Oh,
alive, do people like to get it?
yeah.
It's like piranhas in a feeding frenzy.
Oh. Alicia has a saying. She likes to say, "Not my circus, not my monkeys."
Not
Right?
my circus,
So
not my monkeys. I don't need to
yeah,
care. You tell me why I
yeah,
need to give a half a shit about this, and I will.
yeah.
But as far as I can tell, the math doesn't math, and this affects me
So
0%.
this sounds like it's a you problem, and I don't want to be involved.
There's a lot of you problems that the you should be taking care of the you problem before you bring it up to the us because
Yeah,
we
exactly.
one
It's like
can't fix it.
that's way outside my pay grade. I don't have to deal with your crap too. I've got enough
Right.
of mine going on.
What else we have? Stopping your day at a reasonable hour. Okay, that I've never done that.
What's that, right?
I know.
So, okay, I'm actually pretty decent at that, but then the kids kind of take over a little bit, right? So, it's just what it
Don't
is.
be the prawn in the goldfish bowl. That happens. That
Yep.
happens where you're the shit disturber and you're bringing everybody down.
Yep. You'll also be the one that eats everyone else, right?
Fun
So,
sponge. I've been called a fun sponge before.
fun sponge?
Fun sponge.
What the
Apparently,
hell?
I'm not fun.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair.
That's fine. So okay, going back, and this is basically a list I got here, and it's interesting that people don't get things out. Journaling, I think, is fantastic. Getting out of your head.
Yep.
Talking to someone who actually listens, and I think
Yep.
that's where the barber chair comes in, where I'm listening. Like I'm captive as shit. I can't. What am I going to do? Walk out halfway through a cut? Don't shit in the paper lunch bag. Jesus. Yeah, you're right. What was it? Naming the stress instead of drowning in it, breaking tasks into tiny wins. There's one that people don't do. You take on the entirety. Why not just do a piece? Do a piece.
How do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time, right?
One bite at a time. Walking, lifting, stretching, shoveling snow like it
Cold
owes you money.
plunge. Cold plunge.
Cold plunge would be a good reset.
It is a fantastic reset. Works like crazy.
This is where I also think that we talked about this last time or the time before about hobbies, and people don't have them. You know what people collect now? Memes.
Yeah.
They
You know
collect
all
memes.
about that, don't you, eh?
I'm horrible, man. Tree climbing, Jesus. AC's a tree climber. Tree climbing, I think that kids need to get back into that.
Yeah. Like, okay, so I saw a post today. Where was it? It was on
Tash
Threads.
was
I
playing
showed
with
it.
the kids.
I showed it to my wife, right? I don't know if I can find it again, but it was like, why do men have such boring hobbies? They go fishing, they go work out, they go make model airplanes, and it said, the patriarchy sucks. I was like, I don't know. I think there's something to be said about peace, isn't there?
It's quiet.
Yeah.
It's quiet. You don't have to explain what you're doing to anybody.
It's wonderful. It's like,
Well-
here it is. Found it. What did they? Oh, she deleted it. Oh, that's too bad.
Of course she did. Because
They
there's
don't
going to
like
make you
those.
toxic. Oh,
Yeah.
tell me if anybody has heard this ridiculous, because we're talking about stress and things to bring you down. AC looks into the psyche of the human being. I heard the dumbest phrase that stuck in my head like a thistle in my ass. Toxic positivity.
I've heard that before. Yeah.
Okay. Discuss.
I
How?
actually know a lady, and her doctor told her, I think we've got to put you on antidepressants. And she's like, why? And she goes, and the doctor goes, because there's no way you can actually be this happy. I think you're hiding something. So we've got to put you on antidepressants. And I was like, what? You're just happy, and that's okay to be happy. You don't need to be medicated to actually be happy here.
It's okay to be happy, and it's okay to be positive. Now, there's a difference between delusional.
Well, I agree. Like there's people who are like, come on, But I mean, I agree. There is some toxic positivity because there are some people who are positive regardless, right?
What's wrong with that?
I don't know, but I mean, it's like it was like Anne of Green Gables, right? Because people found her irritating because she was always positive and always in her own little world and always trying to be happy. Pollyanna, there's another one if you want old classic shows and books, right?
But the thing is, it's a Tash said, Jesus, she got up at 11, couldn't had to de-stress till 1. I shut down like a light switch. You're too happy.
Yeah,
Have you
right.
considered maid? Oh my
Yeah,
god.
right. So let's get a little bit. That's hardcore, right? Like it's crazy. Like like toxic positivity. Sure, that's fine. You can call it like if you want to use that terminology, fine. But I think that's kind of like a small slight against a person who maybe has a good life.
Yeah. What if you're just in a good mood? Like internalized depression and stigma. I don't know if that would make you happy. I mean, maybe people overcompensate. Maybe that's what you're saying. But you
I guess.
but here's the thing. What if craziness? What if you've had a shit life?
Right.
It's been shit. And suddenly it's not that bad. And you are super stoked that life is getting better.
You know,
And you're
there's
happy because you're out of a shit situation. There's that.
right? And like whenever people think about, like or talk about, like, can't really be happy or whatever, it's like I think of, the movie The Life of Brian when they're all crucified and they're all singing, always look on the bright side of life, right?
There's a bright side. And I mean, I think I consider myself to be relatively stoic. Like I don't show
Yeah.
a lot of up. Um, it doesn't mean I'm miserable. It means that I'm
Right.
just level. And
I mean, realistically, if you talk about it that way from a stoic perspective, you
mhm.
could really say I'm actually just emotionally mature, because I'm able to have control of my emotions throughout the good times and the bad times. Like we like to think emotional maturity is, people are going to start crying at the drop of a pin, or they're just overwhelmingly happy. It's like, well, that's not really emotional maturity either. That's also being letting go.
I think that isn't happiness is better. Sure, you can be happy and you can be sad. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to have a shitty day. It's
Yeah.
okay to be miserable. It's
I
okay
mean,
to
we have these things. It's just kind of what it is. Like it's
is one of the biggest problems the fact that we shelve our feelings now? Is that it? We're not dealing with it?
I think some of it could definitely be a component of it, or even worse, we need to therapize therapeutic, or you need to take everything has
Talk
to
to
be
somebody about it.
therapeutically diagnosed. Okay,
Not everything is a
so
diagnosis.
like that's the thing. Everything has to be like, everything has to be a term. It has to be according to some neurological deficiency or deficit, to the point that, like I remember reading a statistic that was like a third of all like women under the age of 25 are seeing counselors. And it's like, well, that's not necessarily a good thing either, like
No,
that you don't need to be doing these sort of things, because at this point in time, your life typically is not going to be horrific. But depending on the situation, some people have had hard lives, but to assume that the majority of people have had really bad lives, it's a crazy thought process.
here's the thing. The world is what am I drinking tonight? I'm having a bourbon. I was gonna have a tequila. I was gonna make a margarita,
Nice.
but I was out of lime juice.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I
I
was feeling it because it's spring. It's a Manitoba spring out there. And
Right.
okay, I'll give you this. When I say that winter, like right now, we are in the armpit of the seasons. It's not quite spring. It feels like winter, and we're all hoping
Yeah.
for something else.
Well, you come up to Clear Lake, it's winter.
Right. So I think that we do have like, do I think seasonal affective disorder? Winter sucks. Just say that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
a disorder. I think it just sucks. And
Some people
cultural
definitely have
expression.
some effect of seasonal affective disorder, and that's why they have the sad lights, right? And that's why people have vitamin D deficiency, and that's why people need to take these things. I was talking to a nurse, and I was saying when I had a pretty awful reaction to like the second COVID jab, right?
All right.
And I was just feeling just terrible, horrible about my life until I stepped out into the sunlight. And it was like it was a complete drastic change. It was like, oh my God, everything felt better
There's
immediately, right?
there is something about nature that
Yeah.
we don't give it enough credit. We are designed to be outside. We're designed to touch grass,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Um, saw a research presentation where cultural expression differs, and that one culture expresses emotions in a way that are clinicalized and the other are normalized. Well, here's the thing, and you're probably right. I do think that emotions. I don't understand the idea of somebody telling a person that their emotions are wrong. And I don't believe that anybody's emotions can be blamed on somebody else.
Correct. You mean that you're like, that's the thing when people apologize. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. It's like, well, you didn't actually. Why don't you apologize for the offensive thing you said and let me handle my emotions?
Well, but we talked about this before too. If you would have to really dig deep to try and offend me, like offend, like you can insult me, but insulting means it's a direct shot. You meant it, and that's an insult. And I could battle you all day long.
Yeah.
Okay. Offending me means that you said something that was probably harmless to 99% of the human beings on the planet, and I heard it and internalized it another way. That's on me, not on you.
So there's probably a certain amount of truth, realistically. You know what I mean? Like if I called, like if I said, "Hey, Quentin, like you're kind of white or whatever, you white cracker," you'd be like,
"Oh, you could hit me with a privilege card."
I mean,
somebody explain that to me,
right? The privilege card. You know the number. I can't even think of the number of times that I've had that tossed at me because my white privilege. I'm like, yellow, thanks.
Yeah, you know what? You're kind of. What would that be? Kind of like a beige? No.
They usually call us like more bananas, right? Yellow on the outside, white on the inside, right?
I think that, but I also think that there's nothing that I can do that somebody else can't do,
right?
That I can think of. I really can't. There was a time. I think that's changed, thankfully, for the better for the majority of human beings. It's gotten better.
You know, the only problem is like, okay, so I would agree, you know, like there's people who should be able the ability to do or the opportunity to do everything, right? But it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be good at it. So it's that whole concept of, you know, like equal opportunity, not equal outcome, right?
Right. And you can't expect the same outcome if you can't do the job.
Yeah. Okay. Like I'm not going to cut my hair or cut your hair or anybody's hair. Like,
and I'm not going to do whatever the hell it is that you do. And I don't even understand what the hell you do.
Right. So I mean, it's just there's certain things that just aren't well, right?
She's so well when. Yeah,
that's my dog barking. He's having a good old time here. That little dog gets so much anxiety when we're driving, but then he gets up here and he's just completely chill.
Have you told him to calm down?
I've told him to calm down. He's overreacting. It doesn't seem to register.
That doesn't register with half the people in my house.
I don't know. I've taught my youngest daughter to say it, and a few times she's almost said, you know, like I almost said it to my sister.
Oh, Tash is stressing because her dad's in the hospital. Well, Tash, I completely understand that. My father had cancer. I lost him 7 years ago, and it is
7 years ago.
Yeah, it's been 7 years.
Holy.
It's been 7, yeah. But it's and
before COVID.
Just yeah, no, yeah, it was. Here's the thing. Well, when you're dealing with, there's an anxiety that there's nothing you can do about it, and there's nothing that I could have done with Dad. There are certain things that are well beyond our control, but the only advice I can give is you got to make the best of what you got there.
Yep.
You know, like I don't know how far along he is, or if he's in dire straits or not, but you really start to reassess your relationship with somebody when they're sick, and hopefully it's a reset that stays permanent, and hopefully you have a long time to play out that reset relationship, right? But I do think that certain things are out of our hands, and I think some people can't accept that it's out of our hands. I can't do anything about this, and I can't do anything about that. Calm down results in the opposite typically. I think that there's one where the two sides take it differently. And I'm saying it with all due respect. If Jay told me to calm down, I'd be like, holy shit, yeah, you're right.
Yep.
I need to settle my ass down. If I were to say that to a different type of human being, it'd be like lighting a barbecue with a bazooka.
Right.
And I don't understand. I never understood that. I never understood the Chuck Norris told his wife to calm down, so she did.
Yeah. You know who they're calling the new Chuck Norris?
Okay, who?
Alan Richson.
Dude's built like a house, man. Like
and
he's a genuinely nice person.
And I mean, here it is. Some guy tried to fuck around, find out, and go for whatever the heck. And he just sort of walked around unscathed, didn't say anything on social media, and it just said, like something along the lines of, "Don't speak when your enemies are digging their own grave" or something, right?
You know what? There's something to be said for someone who can keep their calm in situations like that. And he kept his shit together. He's like, "What are you doing, man?"
Yeah,
Did he have to do what he had to do? He did what he had to do,
yeah.
and that's
I mean,
fine.
it's fair. He hit him, knocked him down, and said, "Stay down." Guy tried to get up again. It's like, "Okay, I'll hit you again. Stay down."
Stay
Like,
down. But here's the problem: is violence the answer? Sometimes,
sometimes it is.
sometimes,
I
because
completely think it is.
I believe there are people that will get in your face because they're convinced that there's no way you're going to do anything to them.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
no threat. There's no nothing. Um,
Guarantee that guy was on, like, he had somebody recording from another house.
yeah.
That guy was, and he kept on saying, "Come on, hit me, hit me, hit me."
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
He was trying to get a payoff here.
Well, and the thing is, when you have, yeah, he got nothing.
He
Like
got
this was
nothing.
done.
Apparently, he
But
gets death threats now.
well, because he's an asshole. Like, here's the
That's what he
problem: if you're the
gets.
big prick and someone knocks you out for it, you kind of have that coming. And I've said this. We covered this a while back. Anybody that when you see a kid, and I say kids that are little pricks in
Yeah,
school, and the parents that defend them saying they're just being kids. But he didn't even hurt. He's not hurting anybody.
yeah,
He's not hurting anybody. I'll tell you what, you push them to the point where you should probably get popped in the mouth. You should
yeah.
get popped in the mouth because maybe that'll shut you up. And maybe mommy will realize that there's repercussions for raising a little asshole that
That's
thinks
the
that he can
thing.
just talk and run his mouth without
Yeah.
getting it shut.
I mean, like, for Gen X, most people, I think, realistically, at some point, have had somebody push them to the point where fists went flying.
But then it was
You
done. It
know,
was settled. It was over.
and that was it. And there was no more. There was none of this. Like, nowadays, it's like, God, I'd be afraid of getting into some sort of disagreement with someone, and then coming around and trying to shank me or something.
That was there back when we were kids. It could have happened, but it didn't
Yeah,
happen
it
because
could
there was
have,
a
but
little.
it didn't at all. But like you look at the like you've worked in the bars and stuff, right?
Mhm,
You get a friendly fight and all these sort of
sure.
things, but now you get people getting curb stomped outside. It's like, hold
That's
on.
that's where I'm trying to figure out what happened. What happened to people? Did we get to the point where we are so out of control that like were you allowed to do everything you ever wanted always and you can't accept the fact that you lost because you've never
Right?
lost and now you're coming back to really show them? Like, is that
People
what's going
don't.
on?
I think so. A lot of people just don't have the resiliency, or I would look at it this way. A lot of people never really ran into any boundaries, right? So, like, and you'll see that with people who are just jerks, especially as they get older, right? And it's like, you're being a jerk because you can get away with it, because most people just go, he's old, I don't want to deal with this, don't push around the grandpa, that sort of thing, right?
Right.
So eventually
Well,
it's just going to be what it is, right?
have you ever had your ass kicked?
No,
I
no.
have once, grade 7.
Yeah,
This little prick got it, and it was it happened. I was walking home from school. He was a typical bully. He was just an
yeah,
asshole. And yeah, the corner of 26th and Richmond, you know where the bike path
yeah,
turns, and there's that ditch
yeah,
right in there. And first and last time that ever happened in my life.
yeah.
And it wasn't because I had done anything. He was just an asshole. Like
Just
I'm
a
walking
jerk.
home from school, he's walking backwards in front of me, trying to egg me on.
Yeah,
And it happened once in my life, and that was enough.
right.
Do I think I learned something from that? I I learned to stand my ground,
Yeah, yeah. I
and
mean, you
people
can always learn from something, even like from a catastrophe like that, right?
sure, but I mean, the way that people deal with things, whether it's out of our control or 100% in our control, most things are under your control. Most, right?
Yeah,
So when we blame others and say, "Well, it's his fault that my life sucks," no, it doesn't. It's not that person's fault that your life sucks.
yeah.
What could you
Maybe you're
do?
making some bad choices here.
You know what? Like another great saying that I love. It's how about we stop pointing fingers and start pointing thumbs?
Yep.
Start pointing thumbs. What could you do? Like you're telling me there's nothing you could do that could possibly make the day a little better or your
Yeah.
life a little better. You hate your job, get a different job.
like, but here's the problem. Sorry, my contacts are very mental there. Like I was telling this to my staff, like we all know those people that just can't life for whatever reason. They just can't. And it's like, you need to do certain things. You got to get outside of your comfort zone. I mean, you got a nice, comfy box that you're sitting in through your
Yep.
life, and it gets smaller and smaller. And the only way to you have to push back. Otherwise, you're just going to get crushed. But people nowadays are so content in these little boxes, their comfort zones, that they don't want any struggles. They don't have any resiliency, and they don't want to do the things that they're not good at.
We are our own best, our worst critics, and we worry too much about what other people think, sadly. And like, okay, this is a great example. What we do on Fridays, like, I don't know if people like us or not, but we do this because we just want to, and
It's kind of fun, right?
It's fun.
You
Right?
get some good conversations, and people are engaging a little bit, right? So, like, why the hell not?
Right. But I still remember the first time I recorded my first podcast,
Yeah.
and I was so terrified to hit publish.
Yeah.
Because, like, what are people going to think? Here's the reality, and here's something for everybody to realize. No one knows who the hell you are.
Yeah. Nobody's going to
No
watch
one's
it.
paying attention to you. No one's paying
Nobody's
attention to us.
Or more importantly, like, there's the thing, you're like, oh my God, I don't want to put it out there because I don't know what people are going to think. Well, hold on. Isn't the whole point of doing this so you're going to find out what people are going to think?
I appreciate that, Tash. It's good. It's good to have some of the things that we're not complete idiots. You're right, but why do we care? Why do we care?
It's a lot of it, I think, is people don't get cheered on enough.
I think that there's certain kudos that we like. We want something. Like, I'll tell you right now. Hang
Yeah.
on. I've got, like, this is part of one of 16 different. You know what this is? And why am I so worried about putting it out there? I shouldn't be, because according to everybody who's seen it, it's insanely good, which is good.
Well, because we always get that self-doubt, the imposter syndrome of, like, who am I to write a book? Who am I to be an expert? Who am I to be teaching people how to do things with their lives, right? Well, if you don't, who will?
Well, there's that. And it's lots of it with this. And I even say it in there, I'm not trying to say that I'm some expert. I'm a student of this. 100%.
Well, since you don't have a master's or anything.
Oh, I don't have a master's degree or anything.
Right.
But I think that the self-doubt is there because for some reason we internalize the punishment that's not even there yet. And then I got to look at the other way. Like, who the hell else is going to do this? No, like, that has not been done. That's insane that has not been done.
So, I mean, there's the thing. It's hard to be a trailblazer, right? It's hard to be the first one, right?
Oh.
It's just downright terrifying. Like, I remember when I started doing massage therapy, even, and I was like, oh my God, what are people going to think? And, people would be like, well, I don't want to go see him because he's probably gay or pervert.
Well,
I'm like, hey, I'm not gay. I'm married. Like,
still could be. But here's the thing. When I told my parents I was going to go to hair school, like how?
You don't even have any hair.
Dude, I did have hair when I was in hair school.
Oh,
but here's the thing. When I remember telling my dad, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go to hair school. He's like, is there anything else you'd like to tell us? Because again, I was also hanging out with Jeff, and Jeff's gay, and I'm like, no, like what? He goes,
are you sure?
Okay, you sure about this? I'm like, dude, it's not a lifestyle change. It's a job.
It's a career.
It's a career.
Do the numbers, do the math, right?
Do the math. I loved it when people would say, so what else do you do for work? I'm like, bang out 4 cuts an hour and bank it. Like, but
like, I would get the same thing all the time from people for the longest time. It was like, huh, interesting. Like, and people don't quite get what it is. Like, I once had an electrician come in, and he goes, like, how much do you charge an hour? And I looked at him, I was like, how much do you charge?
Yeah, less than you, so shush.
Right? And he starts laughing. He's like, okay, that's fair. Like, I've got more education than you do, pal.
Oh, but do you have a master's degree?
I don't have a master's degree.
Yeah, so you basically have more high school.
I mean, I did a thesis, but apparently it wasn't a master's degree. It was almost a PhD level. So, I mean, whatever.
Nobody, and that's the thing. It doesn't matter unless
It
unless
doesn't
you need it to
matter.
matter, right?
That's it. It doesn't matter at all.
And I think that when you have a that what's everybody going to think about you,
Yeah.
that'll be your hamstring. That's what's gonna
Yeah.
that's what's gonna cut you to the bone. And
You know, the
when people question,
newsflash is nobody's thinking about you.
nobody's thinking about you. Like,
Nobody's thinking about
there
you.
are people that I've known for years, and I don't know what they do all day. Honest as shit, Jay,
Yeah.
I've known you forever. I still don't know exactly what you do,
You
and
know,
that's
I
fine.
don't know either. I make it up as I go along.
Right.
Right.
But I mean, it doesn't matter. It
Yeah.
really doesn't matter. And if you worried about that part of it, you would stay still forever.
Yes.
And lots of
Exactly.
people, they're stressing because they don't think they can get out of this hole because of someone's going to say I'm an idiot. Well, fine, let them say you're an idiot and then try
Yeah.
it. And if you try it and you fail, at least you tried.
You know, like that's the thing. You know, number of people that I talk to who like, come up and be like, "I have this aspiration, this thing I want to do." It's like, okay, you're gonna go do it, and it's like, I can't. Why not? Well, I just can't. It's hard. It's like, yeah, it is hard.
It's too
It's
many.
supposed to be hard. It's too many, right? like I've had friends who are like, you know, like I want to be inspirational to inspire people. I'm like, okay,
Do it.
do it then.
Because what you're saying right now, this is not a very
This
inspirational
is not
conversation.
inspiring me here in any sort of setback or anything. Like, is like you got to get through this here. And a lot of people just they can't. I mean, I get it. You know, we all get something that we want or something to do, and it's just like, well, that's harder than I thought. I've got to reevaluate whether I'm going to do it.
Well, and I think that when you're faced with something that's really hard to do, or you don't feel like you're the right guy.
Yeah,
Like, remember when a couple years ago I got asked to MC that Little Valley Jamboree?
yeah,
Super cool event, right? Like,
yeah.
this community gets together like crazy. They're like, "Would you MC this?" I'm like, "Why? Why are you asking me to do this?"
Yeah,
Anyway, I did it, and I can talk like this all day long. I can get in
yeah,
front of a camera. I can do all this shit. I have never been so nervous
yeah, yeah,
amongst a group of people that don't know me from a hole in the ground
yeah.
to MC an event, which is the friendliest community I think I've seen in
Yeah.
forever. And I left. I'm like, that sucked. Like, they're not going to call me back. And then they called me back,
Right.
and I would do it
That
again and
is
again and
good.
again. But get over yourself. Like, these, like, who you got to remember, if someone asks you to be there, then they obviously think that
They
someone's going
think
to like you
you're
there.
some value there.
Sure.
Years ago, I got asked to do a presentation at an AGM. Right. It was for the dental AGM for dentists. And I was
Okay,
like,
that makes sense.
you want this guy to do a presentation? And I was like, on what? And they're like, whatever you want. I'm like, oh dear, this will be interesting, right? So sure, it was turned out fine, and they were very excited, and people were engaging, and it was a lot of fun, and the pay was ridiculous.
I would love to do speaking engagements, but I don't know what the hell I talk about. I'm just not that interesting.
Well, it's not. It's never really about. So, like, I think a lot of the stuff, like, because like I like, for example, you look at a podcast, you know,
Mhm.
what do people want to hear? You know, they want to learn something cool, right? So it's like, you know, what is one thing that drastically changed your life that you could share with a bunch of people that isn't going to be too technical, that's going to be somewhat inspirational, and it's going to be having come from a place of a good story. And there you go. People will listen to that shit for hours.
Well, and I think that it's like going into this, which you're aware of what that is, the bones of what that is. It's a lot the story of this person never saw themselves here. Now they're
Yeah.
here, but they're bringing so much of what was into what is, and
Yeah.
it works.
Like, I think realistically, you could go onto a podcast and just talk about, you know, why you decided to do this and how freaking hard and why the hell me? Why there's if there's other people, why did nobody else do it? Like, those stories are important enough because they're challenging the personal self-doubt that a lot of people experience on a daily basis.
Well, and so everybody knows there is going to be another podcast coming, and when I launch this and I launch that, it's going to be two things that are going to feed each other. So hopefully
This
people
could be a
listen
lot
to
of
it.
time, eh?
It's a lot of time, it's a lot of work, but but the problem is I like doing this. This is a hobby, much like people, collect trading cards or knit or
It's a
go
good
for a walk
stress
and go to
reliever,
gym.
right? So,
I think this is like, is this
yeah.
therapeutic for us? Is that what this
It's kind of
is?
therapeutic. You know, it's like you can say whatever you want. Sometimes people even listen, and it's like, oh, maybe we're kind of important.
Well, the nice thing is
probably not, but
nobody that I know. I don't know. People say they listen, they watch it. I don't know who does, and I figure it out later on. But
I usually find out later because people come up and be like, "Hey, I saw your podcast." It's like, really?
you watch that?
Like,
Okay.
really? I'm sorry.
So here are some extreme or very weird, extreme, and very human coping strategies.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like, is it they stick their fingers in their armpits
And then they go like this. What the hell is that girl's name? I know what you're talking about.
What show was that?
It was Saturday Night Live.
No, it was a show though. It was like
it was SNL. She was a recurring character, and she'd do this. And
yeah. Oh,
yeah,
did she do that? Okay, because she did
had a
in
movie
in the movie too. Yeah,
she had a movie too.
Yeah.
Tash, this might be you. Cleaning at 2 a.m. like you're prepping for a home inspection. Stress hits, suddenly you're scrubbing baseboards. 2, hyper focusing on one random task. Oh God, I'm bad at that.
You don't do that at all, eh?
Doom
scrolling. Let's get
Doom
serious.
scrolling.
Everyone does doom scrolling.
As if bad news is a hobby. Stress shopping.
I never did that, but I did know a guy that would get stressed out, and he would stress shop, and then he would look at his bank account and get stressed out, and then go shop. Bad circle there.
Yeah, I'm the worst shopper on the planet. Like I have things in my cart that I'm not going to buy, but I want things, but I'll sit on it for a while and then decide I don't really want that much. But
sometimes that's the thing. It isn't necessarily the buying of the thing. It's just the knowing that you could have it.
Right. But there's also like, that's where, is it Temu? Temu is the worst. I remember I bought I
don't know.
I bought I bought one thing. I bought we have a glass top, so it was like a silicone cover that you can put on, and then you could use it as a counter, as a work area.
That's fair. Yeah.
And it was actually decent for whatever I paid for it. Here's where shit like that, I could see how people get addicted and get stressed because these sales are going to end.
Yeah,
you buy something, and then they give you like rewards, and you spin the wheel and another 20%, but you got to buy 18 things to get this. And people think that's all
gambling psychology, right?
It's ridiculous. So stress shopping is one, and Amazon, I believe, has made that a thing.
Okay.
Stress eating the entire pantry. I'm the guy that'll stand there eating a snack, trying to figure out what I'm going to have for a snack.
Yeah,
I'm feeling snacky. It's like, these are the warm-up chips, and then I'm going to figure out what I'm going to have later.
Hey, I had to talk myself down from getting Fudgios today. So
I buy them once every 2 weeks. I'll buy a package of cookies to put like 2 cookies in each kid's lunch for a snack.
That's fair.
And I did buy Fudgios. Damn, it's been a while since I had those. I didn't eat one. They were gone before I could.
Yeah, right.
They were gone before I could.
You know, the problem I have with Oreos and any of those things, though, the packages are considerably smaller than what I remember as a kid.
They are.
What's so bad?
Oh, Patricia Ann, she's a stress shopper. Thrift stores and Temu. See,
I can never buy anything on Temu.
I can't buy anything at a thrift store.
I can't do that either.
I got a weird. Here's a weird fact about me. I can't wear anybody else's stuff.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either. I have bought exactly one item of clothing at a thrift store. Okay, and it was an oversized like black jacket, dress jacket, because I needed to have something that was oversized so that I could look like Ringo Starr when we reproduced the Beatles album.
Nice,
from Brandon.
Nice.
And then after I got that picture, I promptly took it back.
Like myself, I can't, and it's a thing. I can't borrow a jacket. I can't wear someone else's stuff. I just can't. And I think it also comes from being in the hair industry for so long, where I've seen some nasty shit in my day, and I don't want the chance of that. So I did get a bunch of my dad's old riding gear. I've got that stuff, but that's I think all I've got as far as stuff that wasn't mine that I actually wear.
A little different though, right? It's a little bit different.
Oh, here's the thing, Patricia Ann. My problem is I just don't shop.
Yeah,
I just don't shop. Like I don't.
This shirt I've had for 6 years.
I wear t-shirts that like, how are they still like, you see me in the bar, like working real estate's different, but in the shop, like I'm wearing, these are like Popeye shirts that I got for free that I wear in the barbershop because I don't care if they get hairy. Like,
that's the best thing about protein shirts is they give them to you for free. And it's like, oh, it's good enough.
Yeah. Like Kelsey said, she goes, you don't shop, but you seem to acquire clothing. I'm like, yeah.
Why don't they give away like Popeye's pants?
I've got hoodies from there. Right? I got a lot of tops from there. You wrote, you can't rent a suit. I won't rent a suit.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan. I just can't because who knows what happened in that suit.
I'm not a fan of that sort of thing. You know,
No.
last time I rented a suit was for a friend's wedding, and there's like a damage deposit you have to put in there, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, "Why? What's this damage deposit?" He was like, $80. And they're like, "Well, it's in case you damage the suit." It's like, so I can destroy the suit for $80.
That's a good way to look at it.
And they looked at me, they're like, "Yes,
You said it.
technically." I was like, "So the limit is $80 I would have to pay if I destroyed this suit." And they're like, "You're not going to destroy the suit, are you?" I'm like, I might
You just said that
actually
good.
do
It's
it to
$80.
you. I mean, like, to me, if it was a good enough event, I'll pay the $80.
It's probably gonna get destroyed.
Yeah.
Here we go. Talk points you can riff out. Yeah, we learned to talk. We learned to survive. We didn't learn how to process. Our
Yeah.
generation did not learn how to process shit. We
Well,
just
right now, people definitely they process and process, but they don't take a lot of action. They don't move forward with things. Just let's
Ooh.
plan it. Let's have a meeting. We'll have a discussion. You know, we'll plan this out, right?
But I'll stay at a hotel. Here's my problem. I will not use the blanket because the sheets are the only thing that get washed at a hotel. So I won't use the blanket. I'll just use the sheet, and I will not use the coffee maker because that never gets clean.
Not anymore after that TikToker, right?
Oh, that
You
she's
see
cleaning
that
her
one?
underwear on the I saw that.
She got sued.
Hey, why?
Like,
It's
she
a
got sued
$50 Keurig.
because people were able to isolate and figure out which hotel chain it was and where she
Okay.
was. So people started making some pretty upset claims and trying to sue the hotel. So they sued her for defamation of character or whatever it is. You know, like there's a lot of things that she was really responsible for.
Well, people are dumb and they're going to do what she did.
So
So
fuck around and find out.
tell me who's got a comfort movie or a comfort show? What, because one of the stress things that people
Oh,
talk about is
yeah.
rewatching the same
Yeah.
show for the 47th time or the same movie.
Yeah, I've definitely got those comfort movies. Yeah. So,
What could I watch if I just needed to?
Star Wars and Bloodsport.
You know what? If I had to pick one movie right now that I could just watch and it would just send me just chill, it would be Endgame. I could watch Endgame. It's 3 hours long.
Avengers? Yeah.
Yep. I can just sit there and watch
Yeah.
it and it's fine.
It was good. It
So
was a good movie.
Dirty Dancing. Like it's just something that it's so familiar.
Yeah.
That's why we still watch Friends. It's familiar, right?
You watch Friends?
I do like Friends, but I watch King of Queens all the time.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's fair.
I should try out for Extraction. What? Speaking of it, you should try over what is
Top Gun. Nice. Yeah.
Extraction? I don't think I'm worthy of being trying out for something.
Top
I
Gun.
could.
So Tarantino says that was a gay movie. Right?
Yeah, they're all oiled up playing volleyball together.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
does that? But I think but we watch these shows, and that's why we still have favorite movies, and we'll watch them again because it knocks your brain back into a place where you were just happy and good.
Yep.
And I believe that the movies that we watched when we were happy make us happy.
Same thing as music, right? Music is one of the strongest connections to happy memories.
Okay.
Like one of these strongest ones, right?
So what music, guys in chat, like what song, like if you said Alexa play blank,
Right.
what's the first thing you put on that would just I would put Foo Fighters on.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
I
fair.
put Foo Fighters on because it's got that riff. It's really good. Cocktail's a great movie.
That's a great movie. But it's a terrible movie, but it's a great movie.
Terrible. Actually, Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. Which one?
I really haven't watched the new one, but I really should because it looks pretty good.
The new one was actually way better than I thought it would be.
Yeah. I think that these things.
I wasn't expecting much.
No, and you don't want to think it'd be therapeutic for people? Write this down. Whatever movie it is that you always had as a comfort movie, whatever that movie is, I don't care what it is. It could be Ernest Goes to Camp. Download that into your phone.
Just watch it once in a while.
Have it handy. If you just need to blank out, why not have that movie that was just your piece?
Just some happy times. Like, why wouldn't you? Right.
But I do believe that if you were happy when you watched it the first time, it'll bring you back emotionally to that
Yeah, very quickly.
point.
Snap. Right.
And the movie could be shit.
Yeah.
Like there are
Oh,
movies
it
that
could
are
be a terrible movie, right?
yeah, there are movies that are absolutely shit, but you love it. Like I love The Lost Boys. It's my
Right.
favorite movie, right? It's my favorite horror
That's
movie for
good. It's a
sure.
great movie. Yes.
But if I had to pick a movie that I could watch and say, "Man, I wish they made movies like that now," it would
Yeah.
be Good Will Hunting or Dead
Yeah.
Poet Society.
Yeah, that's fair.
I
That's
could
fair.
watch those and be like, "Damn."
Yeah.
Anything
Just a
with Robin Williams,
little bit
actually.
intellectual. No, he's done some pretty bad movies.
No, but Robin Williams was you watch him and he was peaceful. He
He
has such a
was
soft voice.
you ever see some of the movies he made before he passed? Like there was like
1
24
hour
hour
photo
photo, a
and
1 hour photo. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
I mean, great performances. He
yeah,
was in Law and Order too, where he was a crazy nut job, right?
yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, like the guy was incredibly versatile in ways you never thought possible. And you didn't really see it until just before he passed.
And there you go, the demons that some people have, and I do think that Shawshank Redemption, that is
Yeah, that's a classic
absolutely one of
movie.
the
Yeah.
greatest movies ever. And yeah, Ghost was a good movie. Like I don't
Yep.
think anything with Patrick Swayze, although he was here's a what is that? What's the Kevin Bacon thing? So many points of
Oh, 6 degrees of bacon, Kevin Bacon. Yeah.
separation, 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
Everybody
6
has
degrees of
6 degrees of
separation.
separation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Ghost, Patrick
Yeah.
Swayze was in Red Dawn,
Yes.
right? Leah Thompson was in Red Dawn.
Yes.
I did Spencer Sisters with Leah Thompson.
You did
So I've
what?
got the Spencer Sisters. It was a show on
Oh,
CTV
okay.
with Leah Thompson. So I've got 2
That's
degrees
funny.
of separation between me and
That's pretty
Patrick
cool.
Swayze.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Bo wanted to watch it again. I'm like, oh, well, let's watch it. I'm in that more than I'm in anything else I'm in. So we watched an episode,
Well,
and I'm like, yeah, it was
I
good.
don't know. I was watching. I saw clips of Nobody pop up, and
Mhm.
I'm like, "There's Quentin. He's in the back there,
You know what? It's my kids
looking
think I'm
all
cool and
menacing." Hey, so
menacing and mean, and apparently the kids at school think that I'm scary, which doesn't make any sense.
you can start some pretty good stories. You're like a narc or something like that, right?
I could. No, I think that we all have our ways, and I think the worst thing you could have is not have a way to deal with the stresses that you got. Maybe finding an outlet, like I said, maybe finding that movie and sticking it in your phone so
Yeah.
it's there. There's
Well,
something.
I think a lot of people aren't really willing to do a lot of these things because it used to be the big thing that the number of people who would have antidepressants was frightening, especially when it was the rural community for a lot of women. I found
Sure.
a lot of them were on antidepressants because of anxiety and such.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah, you're stuck in a position where you have zero control of your life.
Yeah, that would happen. But I
So
mean,
a lot of them, it's like, well, why don't you do something? It's like, well, I just can't. So they get stuck into that inactivity and the fear of actually doing something, right? It could
yeah.
be abusive relationships and everything
Oh,
too, or it could be whatever, the fear of self-doubt and personal ability and everything, right? So, but a lot of people were really taking a lot of different medications.
I think a lot of people do. And do I believe? And yeah, a lot of people do take them. I think that we've over medicated. Yes.
Heavily,
Yes.
heavily. I think every single piece of research out there was like it would basically say, yeah, like it's not as beneficial as we think it is.
No, and the reason I say that, and it's not because I'm a jerk, but we live in what would be considered to be the easiest time to be a human being ever in the history of human beings.
Yes.
Yet but going to the mall is giving you
We're-
anxiety. There's
we're
some
worried about
demons
the-
you got to sort out.
We're worried about the things that are the safest things possible, right? So if you're worried about going
Right.
outside, it's like, why are you worried about going outside when it's incredibly safe? Like back in the day, people went outside and it's like, well, you could die.
You could die inside. Have you ever seen Final Destination, man? It only takes a few things happening the wrong way and you're done.
You just,
Love Final Destination, by the way.
have a
Horrible
hard
movie.
time driving behind a logging truck. I'll say that.
Didn't that scar every Gen X kid forever? Was a
Like,
logging truck?
absolutely. It was just like, ooh, we're just not. That's not going to happen, right?
Tasha
No
loves,
way.
and I think that if you could live outside, I think we need to. When they say touch grass,
Yeah,
kids need to touch grass.
absolutely.
Kids need to skin their knees.
Yeah.
Like you need to be injured. No, you need to get hurt. Getting hurt is different than getting injured. You need to get
Well,
hurt every once in a while.
Correct. You need to get hurt in safe environments.
You can need to get hurt in dangerous environments. The bullshit that we did when we were kids, trust me, we were building ramps.
But they were still safe. They were still safe. That's the thing. Realistically, like you were doing it, but you were still with friends or people who could call for help or
They
in
didn't, though.
communities, right?
Bullshit.
It was still safe. It's still a safe environment.
Slightly,
right?
but I'll tell you what, if one of us got hurt and we're bleeding a lot, the first thing we did was take care of that shit so our parents didn't find out that we got hurt and wrecked our pants.
Right? See, there you go, right? There's a reason for being safe. It's like, oh, if we screw up, we're in a whole lot of trouble here.
Oh, I remember, but that's also when the kids would gather together and help the kid.
Yeah.
So
nowadays,
I remember,
like nowadays, more people need to go out and take some risky chances in safe positions. Go outside and get drunk at the bar. Like that was a safe location for the most part, really.
Of course it was. I remember some neighbors down the street built a ramp. These guys were like BMXing and skateboarding and all this stuff on this ramp. This thing was high, okay?
Yeah.
And it was built well. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I was just sort of I was just hanging out like a bad fart, waiting for them to say, hey, take a turn. I did. I launched off the end of that son of a bitch, and I landed flat on my back and knocked the wind right the hell out of me. Did anybody go screaming for a parent? No. They gathered around me so no parents could see what the hell was going on, and the fact that I couldn't breathe for about a minute or two. And I was fine. I was fine.
Oh, Greg.
You're out in the barn.
Out with your horses.
Did you see? Greg, I did send Jay the picture of that hat.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Which is pretty cool. I think we really need to do we really need to go to their store and like hang out.
Let's see if I can pull that up here. It's wonderfully racist. I think that's perfect.
No, it's not. It's a cowboy hat.
I know, but it was on the fact that it was on the Chinese dude that was like, there we go, right?
Chung Wang.
Yeah. Chung Wang. Yeah.
That's a terrible cowboy name. Goddamn, Shanghai Noon. So good.
That was the best. That was a good movie. That was a good movie.
And you know what? I think that we need to learn how to laugh at ourselves a bit.
Yeah, because it's therapeutic.
It is therapeutic. I know that I suck sometimes.
God, the number of times it's just like you do something, and if you get all upset about it, nobody wants to talk to you, right? If you start we all know that person who screws up something and is like yelling and screaming and kicking and everything, and nobody wants to talk to you. But if you screw something up, you look around, see, did anybody see what I did? And if you see somebody, you just start laughing and they're going to start laughing.
We all have our weak points. There are things that we're not good at. There's things we just can't do. And that's okay to not be able to. I'll tell you right now, I can't fold a t-shirt to save my life. It just looks like shit.
Who can?
My wife, Kelsey, can fold like there's no mañana. But I try.
Yep.
I try. And
as long as you showed up. That's all that matters.
It's sort of like filling the dishwasher. I can fill the dishwasher, and as long as I can close it and hit start, I know it's not going to get.
You're the raccoon on meth, aren't you? So,
right. Just get it in, get it done, move on. Like most things in life, I guess.
Yeah. It's just get it over with and just stop worrying about it.
Get it over with, and trust me, none of us are enjoying this right now.
Yeah.
But
anyway, I got to run, man. I'm cutting it short today, and I got to run.
Guys, everybody get out and touch some grass if you can find some under the snow.
Oh, God, hug a horse or something.
Hug a horse.
Get over it.
Do something.
Like stress isn't something like it'll kill you. It'll literally kill you. Like I've seen people literally like stressful lifestyles, and it's like they get some terminal disease because they lived in such widespread stress for so long.
There's a really good chance, but I think that in sending everybody off, again, thanks for hanging out with us, because I mean, again, we're always pleasantly surprised when people are hanging out.
Yeah, there's even three people online. That's incredible, right? So that's fantastic.
I've got more on my end, but we're both watching the same thing. I think that you figure out whatever it is that can let you just take a bite out of it, and whatever works for you. There's no right answer,
right?
And there's no wrong answer. I mean, heroin's probably a wrong answer, but hey,
heroin's not a good answer. There's probably some better ones, that's for sure.
Right. But yeah, see what you can do. Get out. You got kids are on spring break this week. Like I said, get out, do nothing for a bit. And it's okay to be bored.
Being bored is where your creativity really starts taking note. And that's the problem. A lot of people quite simply are not bored enough anymore. So
no. So go out, be bored, eat a Fudgio.
Yep. Excellent. Good stuff.
Hey, guys.
Have a good night, everyone.
Have a super duper weekend and enjoy spring break. See you guys.